Mia is a 9-year-old girl who was just promoted to the 4th grade and attends Gwinnett County Public Schools. She comes from a 2-parent, mid-socioeconomic status household and has 3 sisters and 1 brother. I chose Mia because she has a love for reading, a zeal for knowledge, and enjoys everything about the learning process. Burke Reading Interview revealed Mia as a very strong, confident reader. When asked the question, "Who do you know that is a good reader?" her answer was, "Myself." She has a good vocabulary and a genuine love for books and reading. When you're reading and come to something that you don't know, what do you do?
I ask the teacher what word is it and what does it mean.
Okay. And do you do anything else?
No, and then I just say it and then I read my book.
Who do you think is a good reader other than yourself?
My dad.
Okay. So, do you think that your dad ever comes to something that he doesn't know?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
Mm-hmm. So, when your dad does come to something that he doesn't know, what do you think that he does?
He probably looks it up on his phone or on his computer and see the name of it.
For Mia's running record, I chose Mummies and Pyramids by Mary Pope Osborne and Will Osborne. This expository book was on Mia's current grade level of reading competency, where she read a 207-word passage. Mia's running record primarily revealed that she made a couple of errors in her structural cues, in which she self-corrected, and 1 error in omission. As her inaccuracies were few, she had no errors in meaning cues, visual cues, and overall the text made sense. Although she did not have prior knowledge in ancient Egypt, she had studied ancient Greece in school. Therefore, her level of interest and motivation were high.
They believed in the sun god and a cat goddess. They thought they could live forever. They were the people of ancient Egypt. Egypt is where one of the oldest civilizations in the world began.
In an effort to incorporate Lev Vygotsky's social cognitive theory and implement the zone of proximal development, I increased Mia's reading level of difficulty by 1 grade level. I applied this strategy to help facilitate her growth and development and maximize her reading achievement. I chose 2 texts for Mia's reading miscue inventory. They were Michelle Obama, Meet the First Lady by David B. Brophy, and Road to Paris by Nikki Grimes. Both books, fiction and nonfiction, can be classified as books that she would have read at school. These inventories revealed her strength in the syntactic and semantic acceptability, and because of the grade level change, her miscues were vocabulary-based, and she had instances of repetition with evidence of cultural influence in language dialect. There were times when she came upon difficult words where she made an attempt to correct, and other times where there was no attempt to correct. This interfered with meaning and comprehension. In retelling the story, Mia did not retain and remember some of the details, events, and conditions in the storyline. When given the opportunity to close her eyes and think quietly, she could recall more of the story, although the sequence in the retelling was not always intact.
Thank you so much for reading. I really appreciate it, and you did a great job. So tell me what you remember about the story.
Miss Blue, I can't remember her name.
Mhm.
It was hard to say. She kept on beating up Malcolm's sister, and Malcolm didn't like it, and they tried to escape the brick tower. And that's what I remember.
Okay. Can you remember anything else?
No.
New strategies going forward. As Mia is a proficient reader and reading above her grade level, I have selected several strategies going forward that will enhance her reading capabilities. This video will highlight 2. 3 additional strategies can be viewed in the A6 summary that accompanies this case study. Strategy lesson number 1, understanding story conventions. This strategy helps the student become acquainted with the author through group discussions, individual conferences, and literature studies. The student learns about the author's style, how they develop characters, plots, settings, and themes. It reveals the emotion that may underlie a text and teach the reader to watch for a story's climax. Is there a cause and effect that comes into play, and how believable is the story? This will build an understanding about the writing process and equip the student with knowledge about their own writing conventions. Strategy lesson number 2, critical conventions. Often, the literature that school districts offer may not lead to critical thinking or an understanding of how systems and institutions operate and how they may help or harm people. This strategy introduces age-appropriate material that will arouse critical conversations. In all these strategies, text selection is very important, as reading encompasses a wide range of material, much of which will be selected by the student. This includes, but not limited to, magazine articles, comic and expository books, or science fiction. Whatever piques the interest and keeps her motivated for reading hard. Unfortunately, this is one aspect of the reading process that Mia has already mastered, as her love for reading has been instilled at a very young age, and a large part of her leisure time includes books. As educators, let's make and keep